All right, so like I said, welcome everybody. We're really glad you're here. My name is Kelly Miller. I'm the creative director and co-founder. I'm a mom of four, military spouse, editor, and poet. We also have Anne Ramallo here. She's our managing editor. She's another co-founder of Poets in the Pines. She's a mom of two, wife, actor, editor, and she's also a Pushcart Prize nominated poet. We also have Leah Cass on our team. She's actually on maternity leave right now. So she is not in attendance, but she'll definitely be watching the recording. So everybody wave at Leah. We could not do this without her. We appreciate her. Together, we make up Poets in the Pines. We are a small press and international poetry collective. We actually got started in 2023 by passing out free poems at music and arts festivals. And then we officially founded in 2026, early this year, like January 1st, I think.
25.
And was it?
It was, yeah. Because we
Okay.
did the anthology in 25.
Yeah, we did. It wasn't like
Time flies.
Yeah. And we make narrative anthologies for poetry, hybrid prose, and short fiction. And we also pride ourselves in being a safe and inclusive space for authors. So November 2025, like we said, this was Made from Midnight. This was a requiem, all about death and loss and endings and kind of like the space and the void left in us after a huge ending and loss like that. Absolutely beautiful book. This QR code right here will take you to it. It's on Kindle Unlimited. It's also available wherever you like to buy books. If you don't like to use Amazon, you can buy it anywhere. We also have Made for Midnight Delirium coming out in June 2026. So that's what you're going to be hearing about tonight. You're going to be hearing, I think, mostly poetry tonight. We have a few short stories, but mostly poetry. So we do in-person and virtual poetry readings and workshops. We also attend events, festivals, and markets. We do poetry and chapbook editing. And like I said, we do international anthologies for a cause. So for this anthology, we are working with Active Minds, activeminds.org. And this is an organization that helps teens through with mental health issues. So 25% of every sale is going to go towards them for this anthology. So it's also for a good cause. All right, so without any further ado, I will hand things over to Anne Ramallo. She is our managing editor. She is, we actually just nailed down the narrative structure for the anthology. She just finished that up. So I think she's going to give us a little bit of an update there. So everybody, please welcome Anne Ramallo.
Hello, writers. It's an honor to be in this room with you. We received about 650 submissions for Made from Midnight Delirium. So the work that's represented here was really fantastic. And not only that, it held together as a collection. It's like a dream that we all share. There was so much reoccurring imagery and themes that it gave us a lot to work with. We've been busy tying that up into, like Kelly said, it's narrative anthologies. So they all have a bit of an arc and a theme. And I've gone through and organized this writing into our arc, which begins by introducing dreams as a series of doors and rooms. And there's this thread that weaves through the book of locked doors and trying to access different rooms and parts of ourselves. And I'm fascinated by the way that you all came up with this independently, many of you. We move into it's sort of a peek into a few different rooms in ourselves where there are similar themes going on or similar places that are explored. Home and childhood was a big one of these. There's sort of this nostalgic longing, saudade, just the yearning for places inside us that might not exist anymore. But then there's the sort of fear and bad memories brought in by unhappy childhood memories. There are different places that we look at. A lot of forest, meadow, mountain imagery, a lot in the ocean, and then moving on to rain and storms. And there's a lot of self-portraiture represented in our anthologies, either literal called out self-portraiture or just looking for ourselves and reflections of ourselves, different versions of ourselves that we can be, looking in the mirror and taking a look at ourselves. And ultimately, kind of claiming some agency in our lives, which as I read through these, I realized that was the difference between being awake and being asleep. In dreams, we are very much caught up in a flow of in the moment creation. And I think there's some wisdom ultimately that we can take from dreams into our waking life that we start to look at too through your work. So I'm really excited about what this has all come together. It has, I think, a really empowering narrative that develops through it. And we've also been translating your words into visual imagery that you may get a peek at tonight. We have a draft in the works of our cover. And yeah, I'm editing now the manuscript. You'll all have a chance to approve proofs of your work, but just making sure that the format carries through into our final version, that we have all of your names in there correctly, your bios. So that's where we're at right now. It's where we're getting far along in the process and should be ready to show you some ARC copies and proofs in the near future. Kelly, is there anything you want to add to that?
Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted.
Oh.
Yeah, you can just go right into the contributor readings.
Okay. Well, then I will pull up our first reader. We have a very international crowd here tonight. And a lot of our international contributors, we put early in the lineup in case you need to hop off and go to bed. We are with people at all hours of their days and nights. So if you do need to go after your reading, feel free, and thank you for being here. But our first reader is going to be Millie Percival. Millie is a returning contributor from Made from Midnight Requiem. Millie is a poet from Scarborough, North Yorkshire, currently pursuing an MA studying creative writing at Lancaster University. Millie, welcome.
Hi, it's good to be back. Hope everyone's good. I hope you can all hear me as well. But yeah, it's about nearly about 1 a.m. for me. So we're all kind of getting through it. But yeah, shall I just start off with my reading?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. I know you have a poem in this anthology. Please share it with us. And thank you again for being here.
No problem. So my poem is called It's Still Life. The body is grey, shaded with charcoal, lined with graphite. Spectres of shapes once carved in now are stripped away and fade from view, erased and reshaped to the whims of time, just a body to renew. The pen is waiting, lying beside the others, nib enclosed in cap. Ink stains on the barrel. It rolls over slightly when the hand retrieves the eraser once more, rubs furiously at the skin, exfoliating her away. A frustrated huff blows the mess of the tabletop, reconstructing curves and then cutting them off all over again.
That was such a good example of just how we're creating things and continually recreating ourselves.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep moving through everybody. Feel free to express your unbridled appreciation for all of our writers in the chat, and we'll have a chance to congratulate each other live in the Q&A session if you're able to stick around. I'm going to move on to our next poet, Ozge Lena. Her poetry appears in magazines and anthologies across continents. She's renowned for her poetic approach, catapoetics, poetics of the Catastrophe. Her poetry has received Pushcart Prize and Best of the Net nominations, among many other honors. Özge, thank you for joining us tonight. I'll turn it over to you.
Hello, and Kelly and the poets. Yes, it's great to be here again after the first anthology. I'm also sorry. Okay,
Yes, you're a
it's
returning
almost
contributor
3 a.m.
to
at the
Poets in the
moment.
Pines.
Here in Istanbul, it's almost 3. Okay, then I have 2 poems in the Delirium anthology, but I'm going to read one of them, Lucinia, which is a Latin term meaning nightingale. It's coming from Lascaux, which is one-eyed, half-blind, and Kono is icing. Okay, here we go. Lucinia, suppose your nightmare comes true. A dark figure before your window throws a hand grenade inside. Someone shouts, action. A clapperboard closes and your life catches fire. Now you are a shooting star. Suppose this, you survive, but you are going to die soon in the narcotizing arms of love. You flee out to see everything you have desired so far are dropping down from the sky like dead birds. Holding your breath, you collect those blinded for better songs. Suppose you grate the bones as an antidote into a golden chalice full of heirloom venom. You devour it before you change the world's name to make it yours, Lucinia. Thank you for having me and listening.
Thank you so much for joining us. And birds, really, I think that's the spirit animal of our dream collection. So thank you for introducing it here. Our next contributor is going to be Moody Sabiti, who is an author, poet, and psychotherapist. He moved to Utah from Lebanon at age 18. Their first poetry collection, Want a World, and their memoir, Habibi Means Beloved, are set to be published this year, 2026. Moody, welcome. This is another returning contributor from Made from Midnight Requiem. We did choose blind, so we're thrilled that that a lot of our previous contributors are back. Go ahead.
Thank you for having me and for hosting this. Excited to share. I'm just pulling up the poem, so give me a second. I actually didn't know I was going to be reading, so I'm surprised, and in a delightful way. There we go. Okay. This poem is titled, You Cannot Catch the Light. You simply can't. Try slipping a dozen photons into your pocket. Try harvesting a flash of brilliance. Try wrapping your fingers around a ball of open sky, the way I did when I cupped your bare belly the morning I came back from retreat, pinning your right leg with my left, cocooned under the sheets. I watched you love another man in my dreams. Even here, listening to the blue jays honking under your warm breath, I know to already grieve. Even here, with my nose doused in your musky evidence, I still reach. Sorrow is a valley only love could carve. Orpheus understood this the moment he glanced back, already mourning in song. So did Eve when she reached for a taste of her own curiosity. cupped her palm like a beggar to the apple, looked over her shoulder, dug her teeth. Thank you.
Thank you. A taste of her own curiosity just rewrote that story for me. We're going to move to another contributor, Vinita Agrawal, who is joining us from Indore, India. She has authored 6 books of poetry and edited 2 anthologies on climate change. Her poems have won or been runner-up for many international awards. You can read more about her at vinitawords.com. Vinita, you're a new contributor to our anthologies, and welcome so much. We're so glad that you're here.
Thank you, Anne, and hi, Kelly. It's a great pleasure to be here and to be able to read my poem here. It's 5 a.m., almost 5:30 in the morning, so you might be hearing the birds outside. My poem is inspired by the title of the anthology, Delirium. The poem itself is titled Delirium. The fever begins in the veins, a slow ink. This is the hour the body forgets its name. Fingers become baskets, heavy with stolen minutes. They spill hours like grains, like unlit candles. The ceiling is a riverbed, and the moon is a silver fish caught in the rafters. I am building a house from the inside out, walls of breath, a roof of eyelash and murmur. Every star is a needle, threading my pulse with luminous, endless twine. Is this a corridor or a current? The bed is a hill, and from it I rise to follow a sound of 1,000 small stones, the clatter of wings in a metallic tree. There is a door in the water. It swings on hinges of shadow and invitation. To be young is to study its shape, to feel the cool draft on the wrist. 20 turnings of the earth, and now the tree grows inward, its roots in the skull, its fruit a dark, persistent ringing. The bells are not in the air. They bloom in the marrow, a deep red sound. I would open a window in the chest, let the night in, a final brilliant guest. To run not on ground, but through the thicket of seconds, to smother the bland face of the clock, to drown, yes, but in the common salt tide, to be anchor and vessel and the rising wave.
So beautiful. It really captures the spirit of Delirium and just gives us this wonderful architecture of rooms and doors and hallways that helped inform the structure of the book. Our next reader is Matthew Pilar. He is a poet and teacher based in Melbourne, Australia. His most recent collection, This Teeming Mess of Glory, was published in 2025 and shortlisted for Australian Christian Book of the Year. Congratulations, and introducing new contributor, Matthew.
Thanks, it's great to be here. It's nearly 10 a.m. in Melbourne, so very different time zone to everywhere else. This is my poem, The Dream of Freeways. My twins, freshly 5, have begun waking in turns through the night, fearing whatever nightmare lingers on leaden lids in disorienting dark. And my wife and I pass each other in shifts at the hallway junction, somnambulant sentries barely sensing the realities of night. Returning to bed at some midpoint towards dawn, I drift confusedly in dreams of driving on a freeway like any other long into evening, children sleeping in the back, my wife having fled for freedom at some unknown point, marriage solid as bitumen, now splitting at some fault line, buckling asphalt like an earthquake or a rupture in the fabric of things. And I wander nocturnal roadhouses, buying self-help books at the diner, searching for gluten-free pizza to feed the children as they sleep. They stir as I move the car, and we wander again, finding their mother here, renting a room at the roadhouse by an old abandoned pool, and corridors diverging one way to petrol, another to the freeway, running wild in the night. When I wake, my wife is sleeping in the kids' bottom bunk. Nighttime past, our roads reunited. Sleep hovers with its fears, but I clutch to the grace of the new day. We carry every rupture, every crossroads in our bodies as we hesitantly walk the streets, the freeways of our day.
Thank you so much. I really related to that poem with its freeways and fault lines.
You really
living
fought
here
for
in
this.
Los Angeles.
She did. She fought for this one.
I did. I'm like, this is just the stuff of life here. So thank you so much for contributing that. Our next reader is going to be Danuta Kosika. She is a bilingual. Did I say it right?
Koshitska. I think it's Koshitska.
Okay. Thank you, Kelly. I know I've heard it before too. She's a bilingual poet, translator, and photographer. She's the author of 3 collections, including the forthcoming Shades of Isolation, coming out this year from Finishing Line Press. She's the translator for 5 books by the Polish poet Lydia Kosk. Danuta grew up in Poland and now resides in Maryland, USA.
I think she's here. Let me just double check.
Danuta, are you here?
My God. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hi.
Okay, good.
Okay, thanks. Thanks. And it's my second time around.
Yes,
I was in her first one. So my poem is very short. I have another 6-line long like that. Do you want me to read both? Like in the picture, you have it's
Yes,
me and the.
Yeah, go ahead and read both.
Okay, and there is the bird and there is a dog, right? So the
That's
one that you chose is it's a bird. One leg running in the sky, the other in the earth, plows the frozen furrow with broken wing and wail. My granddaughter was asking why wail. She's only 8, so. And the other is a dog. Sneaks into the playground, keeps to the side, suddenly lunges forward, full force. Thanks, bird. Thank you.
Thank you for contributing and being here. The bird, I'll just give a little spoiler. I positioned that as the opener for our book. I think it really just shows that duality of awake and asleep with feet in 2 different places. And the bird is such a main character in our book that it shows up right away and just weaves through so much of the work. We see it pop up again and again.
Oh, I'm very happy to hear that.
Oh, good.
Actually, you mentioned my upcoming book, and actually this poem is in there, and the book is called Shades of Isolation. So it's also another way to look at the bird.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next reader is Jessica Purdy. She is a poet from Exeter, New Hampshire. She's the author of 6 books, including winners of Gunpowder Press Dryden Vreeland Book Prize and the New Hampshire Writers Project People's Choice Award. Welcome, Jessica.
Hi. Okay. So I'll read Becoming a Dream, which is after Ross Gay's poem called Becoming a Horse. Becoming a dream. It was the way it looked, like a hanging pot of petunias dried out from a day of haranguing summer heat. And I touched the crisped petals with the pads of my fingertips, gently pulling to release their dead. The hovering bees I avoided peacefully made me know I was without fear, had outgrown panic from stings of childhood, made me leave my body without losing the buzz sound around my hair curling in the heat. My skin simmered in summer's pan. It was dandelion fluff in the spider web, made me feel like a membranous brain, the vibrations alerting me that I would enter an altered state of mind. It was the look of soil so dry it could not soak up what I was pouring in, made me know my gratitude comes with a barrier. But once the water is drunk, the extra is expelled wherever there are seams. Whatever letter I wanted to write the world about wanting to leave it could wait for could wait for my pillow, soft as a profusion of petals. Whoever would miss me would have to wait for me to wake from myself. Sorry about my cat.
That's okay. We're glad you brought a friend to the reading. That had so much beautiful imagery in it. And in the book, it provides a real moment of release, I thought. It comes in the wake of some very heavy stuff. Some of the nightmares and bad memories. And it's a nice moment of release.
Good to hear. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for your contributions.
Thank you.
Our next reader is going to be Paloma Freitas, an American writer and international
sorry,
theater
Anne.
maker.
Sorry, she's not here. I took her out.
Okay.
Sorry. Next up would be
That's
Joyce.
okay. Oh, perfect. Okay. Joyce is another returning contributor. She is a former university writing professor. An advocate for underserved populations, Joyce has led generative writing groups for battered women, teens, and at-risk survivors of abuse. She facilitates online writing workshops, including a weekly ekphrastic writing class. Welcome. I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, great. Can you hear me? Okay, good. All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be in this book, and thank you, all of the editors and all the other writers. You do a really great job of promoting us, and I'm really grateful for that. So thank you. My poem in the book is a poem after Andrea Gibson. And so the title and the first line are Andrea Gibson's, and then we move on from there. So my poem is titled An Open, Open, Open Road. That's what the pain made of me. A traveler, a motor car, a leaf bouncing from state to state, a ghost, a flick in your periphery. Wind dressed up in a long red skirt and tall black boots. Morning fog, a mare's tail cloud, a balloon or kite released too soon, a snowdrop blossom. I've never been a rock, never been a willow or an oak. Were I a broken bottle, I wouldn't stay in one place long enough to become beach glass. Hands on me at too young an age made me wish for feathers or a fairy godmother, for a red cloak and a wolf, for a razor blade or a rope. I fled every place I lived, not because the grass is greener elsewhere. You simply can't tame wind once it's gathered enough muscle to leave the prairie. You can't dam a river once its spirit has escaped its widest banks. Fear made me fly. Pain made me pat. I'm like a pin in a hand grenade. You can't put me back inside the life I was born to. Thank you.
Thank you, Joyce. You cannot contain the wind. So many good lines, like Kelly said in chat. It's hard to pick a favorite. I love the wind dressed up, and it just makes it so hard to hold on to, which is the point of your poem. And sometimes dreams are great for that escape.
That's right. Thank
Yes.
you so much.
Thank you very much. Our next reader is Steve Bowman. Steve's work has appeared in multiple publications. When not writing, he seeks inspiration with his little dog and the leaves and hills of southern Indiana. Welcome, Steve.
Should
There we
be
go.
here.
I
There
think
he is.
Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes,
We
we
hear
can hear
you.
you.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know. A couple of things. This particular poem, I don't know if this is celebrated in other parts of the world, but we're currently in America celebrating National Poetry Month. And this is a treasure from, I think, 2019 or 2020. I wrote this for National Poetry Month. And it was also fascinating that you all talked about doors earlier, because my theme for that particular year was doors. And had I known that that was something you were interested in, I might have sent you a couple of more of my door poems, but I was trying for broader variety. So anyway, bedtime story. Walking the same hallway every night, checking doorknobs, they're locked, like always. A man approaches behind me and asks, "What are you looking for?" Myself, I guess. I've been walking so long, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to find. Maybe meaning? You won't find that here. I turn around and see my grandpa. His tufty white hair blows like blades of grass in the wind, escaping the edges of the stone door beside him. His bright blue eyes invite me. Then he turns and pushes it open to a wide space, filled with stars and nighttime, a roaring bonfire in the middle, the Milky Way flowing above. Sit here in the dirt with me. His skin is brown now. His nose is wide and flat. His mouth is full of smiling white teeth. I sit beside him, and he begins the story. One night, the gods were lonely, so they scooped up the great river above us and folded it into a baby sling and dreamed of a child. And so it was. They bent down and unfolded the sling here in the dust. The baby stood up and wandered off into the night. The gods stretched the sling back into a river and rolled over to sleep some more. We are wandering in their dreams, and that is all you need to know. Thank you.
I love that departing image. Sometimes the line between dreams and reality is so thin, you don't know which one you're in. And that reinforced it for me. It comes up a few times during the collection. So that was beautiful. And yeah, Kelly mentioned it in the chat. We don't always know what the predominant imagery is going to be going into a collection. We really leave it open to what our readers submit. And the places that they come into harmony. And I'm really excited about what emerged from this collection and for everyone who's a part of that. So thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Our next reader is Jill Crammond. She's the author of the poetry chapbook, Handbook for Unwell Mothers from Finishing Line Press. Her work has appeared in literary magazines and anthologies and was twice nominated for a Pushcart Prize. She lives in upstate New York and teaches art and preschool. Jill, welcome.
I don't see Jill's name in the attendees. I'm not sure if she's here.
Do we have Jill Crammond? We have two Jills in the anthology.
She might not have been able to make it.
Possibly not. Okay, if she shows up, we'll hold some space for that. I will read the bio of our next presenter, Josh Stone. Josh is another returning contributor. He is a poet, percussionist, and assistant principal from Owensboro, Kentucky. He's currently working on his first poetry manuscript. Josh, I'll turn it over to you.
I don't see Josh here either, but I did see, I'm just going to email him really quick. You can go to the next person. I just want to make sure that they were able to get the link okay.
Oh, yeah.
I know some people were having trouble with that. So we'll go ahead and move to the next person because I don't see him.
I definitely saw Janae here tonight.
Yes.
And Janae is someone who the wondrous algorithm connected with us last October in our contributor reading for Made from Midnight Requiem. She joined our community at that point, and now she's returning as a contributor. Janae is a poet, screenwriter, and filmmaker living with chronic illness and disability in Illinois. Sleeping Awake, Love Letters from Exile, her debut chapbook, emerged from a hospital bed promise after nearly dying. Janae, welcome, and welcome to this anthology.
Hi, Kelly. It's nice to see you all again. I actually have a way better bio now that we've been getting published. So my poem tonight is titled In Dreams. In my mind, there is a shed full of ochre candlelight and you, always you, there in the glow. Dressed warm with your hair coffee dark and thick, framing the edges of your beige face. You sit in the quiet of the room, stoic, bleeding blue silk from your eyelids. The oak floorboards feel like a blanket of crawfish cracking under my toes. When I reach you there in the corner, it is only then clear that you were never there at all. When I kiss your face, your nose and cheeks break away like clumps of sugar, your mouth splits open, and all the sea fills the room. Thank you.
Thank you. That blanket of crawfish was so vivid for me. I think we have to have a crawfish reference in each of our books because this is the second time it's come up.
Well, I'm mildly Caribbean. I got you.
I gotcha. And two, you just bring the ocean into it with the blue silk and the ocean flooding the room, and the melting has such a dreamlike quality. So thank you for all of those contributions.
Thank you.
I'm going to bring in our next reader.
Thank you.
Martin Egier is a social entrepreneur, mystic, poet, activist, reviewer, and editor. He's the winner of the Arcs Prose Poetry Award in Iraq and a two-time finalist for the Sentieri Diversi Associazione Culturale Poetry Prize in Italy. I hope I didn't butcher that. Welcome to Martin. Happy to have you here.
I don't see Martin in the attendees. I'm not sure if he's here. I don't think he's here.
Do we have Aaron? Let's see. Yeah. Yes, I see Aaron here. Our next reader is Erin Schalk. She is the recipient of multiple awards from Writer's Digest, Marin's Flash Fiction Contest, and the Armed Services Partnership's National Scholarship. She serves as a professional writer, visual artist, voice narrator, and accessibility-centered educator. Erin, welcome.
Thank you so much. It's a great pleasure to be here today with everyone. Thank you. My poem today is titled After Image. Seeing true spring green after 20 years, transplanted across the country, now back to the heartland, where seasons are changing sets, and the curtain has dropped over stripped skeleton trees over the white, black, and ash. Are these green after images flickering in my eyes, still burned with snow blindness? Tornado whipped into the shimmering emerald city's technicolor flood, viridian fields vibrating with open poppies. There's no place, no movement. There's no place. I don't know home. There's no place. Maybe never. Thank you.
Thank you, Erin. That just had so much of the impermanence of dreams, but also of life, the way things deteriorate and you can't return to where you're from, is what we took away from that amid all of the beautiful imagery. So thank you for your multiple contributions to the anthology. Our next reader is Alina Petrova. She lived in Ukraine and wrote in Russian until 2007, working in engineering management. In the US, she began writing in English and published 2 poetry books, as well as poems featured in numerous journals. A Bird from Ukraine, the winner of the Mutabilis Press contest, is her 2026 chapbook. Welcome, Alina.
I don't think she's here. I'm going to skip to the next person.
Okay. Our next person is Jamie. Jamie's here? Jamie is a writer and poet who continuously explores the intersections of universal resonance and personal transcendence. She mentions she's also an avid dreamer.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, welcome, Jamie.
Thank you. So the title of my poem is called My Ribs Are a Garden and Yours a Birdhouse. I keep coughing up the flowers left at your graveside. The sky turns black and red leaks through my teeth. My bones feel hollow, kind of like yours underneath your skin, 6 feet. And the only truth that I know is that I loved you. I call out your name 1,000 times as if I am prepared for what would resurrect. You are covered in dirt, and I hate myself for wanting to water you to see if your love for me would grow. But what I cannot shake is how I can't stay awake and the memory of the first time I said I love you. You parted your lips to say it back, but 1,000 doves flew from your mouth, as if loving me less was your only gateway to freedom. I called out your name 1,000 times, and a dove landed by my feet. But the only truth I know is that my love for you grew your wings, and my throat is sore every morning. Thank you.
Nice. There was so much surreal in that poem that intrigued us. Our next reader is Trevor Tingle. Trevor spent 9 years sailing tall ships and 5 years working as a crew boat captain on the Mississippi River before getting his GED and going to college. He's currently a PhD candidate in physics at William and Mary. He lives in Richmond, Virginia with his family. His work has appeared in numerous journals, and he's been twice nominated for the Pushcart Prize. Welcome, Trevor.
Thank you. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, loud and clear.
Great. I want to just thank everybody who's read. I've really enjoyed hearing everybody's work, and it is an honor to have my work appear with the rest of y'all. All right, I'll jump to it. Song for Dali. I keep a guitar in the drawer of my left thigh. The muscles and arteries have taken an extended vacation, so there's plenty of room. I had the slide braced against the femur and installed a drawer. The guitar is too big to open the drawer without considerable hassle. That's okay, though. I don't play guitar anyway. It's nice to know it's in there, dreaming up its guitar songs without disturbing the neighbors and raising a fuss. Except when I jog in the morning. Then it finds new life as a percussion instrument. It's a delight to listen to, and the timing is perfect. My moody heart is kept too busy to complain. To tell the truth, it's the handle I hold on to when pulling myself out of bed. And I have one more. The liminal consummation of Amaterasu in Tsukuyomi. What does it mean to have the sun inside you? She swells behind a scattering of bare-limbed trees, grows red in the face for a moment before dipping below the corrugated horizon. The pool of the sky glows with her ruby presence, then fades like a dreamer who forgets they are dreaming. What does it mean to have the sun inside you? What a mean pebble to cycle right through you. The dreaming takes flight to make a guest of the dreamer. His adolescent presence ripples in the pool of the sky. The corrugated horizon drips with recognition, blushing at the swallowed moment before his bare limbs are scattered by the swollen sun. What a mean pebble to cycle right through you.
Thank you, Trevor. You gave us a very surreal self-portrait there in the first one. And that second poem made us really aware of the role of cycles in dreams. A lot of times we're stuck in these cycles that repeat in our dreams. And I think we're looking to break free. And that's a lot of the journey in some of our poems. Do we have Ruth here? I'm starting to look through the contributors before I read. And I love all of the appreciation going in to the chat. I'm so glad to connect you all with each other. Make sure you follow each other on Instagram and all of the platforms. This is your network now, and we're so glad to have you a part of it. I'm going to read Ruth Zimmer's bio in case she's here.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. I don't think she's here, but I do love her bio.
Ruth is a writer of emotions. Well, Ruth is a physician by day, where she puts people to slumber and reawakens them. She lives with her husband, a famous artist and illustrator, in the mountains of Utah. I don't think Ruth is here. But I've got Laura. Okay, Laura is here. Laura Adams Gaidos, the 2012 Bucks County Poet Laureate, is the author of 2 chapbooks from Finishing Line Press. She currently lives, writes, and explores the world in Monument, Colorado. Laura, welcome tonight. I think you have a few poems in the anthology, and we're looking forward to hearing.
Hi, can you all hear me okay?
Yes.
So yeah, I have 3 poems, and thank you for accepting them. And I'm just curious, is there one that you would like me to read? Is there anyone that you'd like to say that's the one? No? Then I will read The Coyote Dream. How about that?
I love that one. Please.
Okay. So this is called The Coyote Dream. In this brief scrap of a dream, a coyote comes into my house. He's so tame so unexpectedly gentle that at first I don't trust who he is, knowing what I know, what we all know, or what we think we know about coyotes. Maybe he's just a stray dog gone scruffy, or maybe this is just wishful dreaming. But he stands there, head slightly lowered, eyes boring into mine, smiling, and says, "Trust me, I'm definitely the coyote you think I am." I'm so glad to see him right here in my dream living room. So glad to be having a coyote dream at last, having spent decades listening to them laugh and scream in the high desert at night. All this time, I thought I wanted the bear dreams the most, but it turns out this is the one I've been waiting for. I kneel down, bury tentative fingertips into that coarse fur, touch my forehead to his, close my eyes, and wake up. Thank
That
you.
is such a magical encounter. It comes late in our book. It's this big moment of self-discovery. I think just like connecting with this piece of yourself that you didn't expect.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful. Thank you.
This is fun. I just want to say I'm also enjoying listening to everybody. This is the first time I'm doing a virtual reading, so I'm sort of branching out and feeling my age a bit, but I'm just going to go back to mute and listen. Thanks so much.
It's so great that we can include people from literally all over the world in this, from so many different time zones. So there are some advantages to doing things virtually, though I miss seeing your faces in person, but glad we get to do it this way. I saw that Sarah Carlton, another contributor, has joined. I don't think she's part of our list, but Sarah, did you want to read?
I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm here. Yeah.
Go ahead and just briefly introduce yourself, and then go ahead and read one of your pieces.
Okay, you don't have my thing. Maybe I
We
didn't sign
don't.
up
You may
soon
have
enough.
joined later in the cycle,
Okay.
so we might not
I
have.
apologize. I'm not sure what happened there, but
Okay.
whenever I upload it, I'm gonna put your information and make sure all your socials and everything are in there.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. Thank you. It's so great to be here. I'm loving these poems. So I guess I'll read first Insomnia in the Old Farmhouse. The wall tilts like a recliner as you stare at a soot mark behind the wood stove. Your one union-suited leg fused to the couch. The other, doubled under, fell asleep in a static fizz and disappeared, leaving behind dimples of tufted leather. You're fading but awake, stuck to winter's dim heartbeat, your thoughts repeating like granny squares, while this steamer trunk of a room holds you folded within its calico sides. Beneath you, a stain spreads inky branches across the floor, as if the oak planks dreamed of the forest so long they found a way back there. So that was Insomnia in the Old Farmhouse.
Wonderful. It had such a claustrophobic coziness to it.
I'm a chronic insomniac, so I write so many poems about waking up and trying to be asleep.
Are insomniacs. It's a reoccurring thing in the book.
I've found my people. Okay, so this next one is Liminal Bay. From paint, water, and that soft paper with cloud-like edges, we come to exist. My parents planted on an outcrop overlooking the inlet, watching the sea warm to gold, and me on a nugget, peering down at the fish. We are more silhouette than bird, like two black amphoras and a dipper. The sepia ocean spreads to the thread that separates it from sky with nary a ripple. No waves to wear the sand down or draw evening into the in-between and over us, forever perched on boulders with toasted sides, imagining the swoop and dive.
And what a beautiful little moment. The way that dreams can preserve images like portraits, almost these freeze frames in our minds. Thank you. I'm sorry we missed your bio page, Sarah.
No worries about that. And I'm sorry I'm not showing myself. I just had a carcinoma removed, and I didn't want to scare anybody. So
oh, speedy recovery.
Okay, I'm muting now.
Great. I think Kelly, you're up next. Cool. Kelly Miller is one of she is our founding member of Poets in the Pines. This is her baby. We're all co-parents, but this came from her mind. She is a poet, author, and mother who graduated with a BA in creative writing. She's the author of 2 poetry chapbooks, A Woman in 4 Parts, and her very recent, The Language of a Bomb. It's devastating. Published by Bottle Cap Press. Her work has been published in numerous anthologies and journals, and she was a semifinalist for Tree Publishing's Wild Woman contest. Kelly lives for now in upstate New York with her fiance and 4 children, but she still longs for the Texas dirt roads that raised her.
Thank you, Anne, for that lovely introduction. And thank you, everybody, for being here and reading. The poems tonight have just been really wonderful, and I've loved hearing all of your voices, bring them to life off the page. We've been reading them for months now, so to get to hear them in person is just always such a treat. I have, I think, 3 poems in this anthology. I actually wrote this one after going through a lot of the submissions. They kind of like stick with me a little bit. And there's one that we accepted, and it's called Open to Me, Doorkeeper. And this was a poem that I wrote after reading that poem. So they're largely connected. But it's called Listen to Me, Dream Weaver. And it is after Open to Me, Doorkeeper. Threads of destiny wrapped around bone knitting needles, cloak of midnight, crown of stars. Weave me the one where I am 10 years old, sun rays in braids tied with lace, a scorpion stinger at the ready to wreak havoc on scorching desert sand. Open to me, doorkeeper. Weave me into each hydrogenated breath, desperate for a shred of condensation. I thirst like ancient waves on the edge and fall inside the earth. All I ever wanted was the rain. So that's Listen to Me, Dreamweaver, and it is in the book.
Yes, it is. And I love that process of responding in real time to all of this great work, and in writing later, infused with really the bones of the collection. You responded to so much more even than the poem that this was directly inspired by. You take us through the landscape of everything in that poem in a really beautiful way.
Thank you.
And I'm lucky to work with you.
I'm so happy you're here, and I love working with you. And I will go ahead and introduce you so you can read your poem. Contributor Anne Ramallo is a writer, editor, and mom living in Los Angeles, California. Her poetry and short fiction has been published in literary journals, including Sky Island, Tension, and Persephone, and awarded in competitions by Reedsy, the Royal City Literary Arts Society, and Uncharted Magazine. She placed 3rd in the National Pen Parentis 2026 Fellowship for Parent Writers with a creepy flash story on mom cloning. Anne has amazing short stories. Anne is a co-founder of the micropress and creative collective Poets in the Pines, and her debut collection, The Ocean in a Cup, is forthcoming from Finishing Line Press. So welcome, Anne. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. I pulled out a poem that I wrote at the beginning of this process during the submission period, but it's based on a dream that I had last year that was floating around in my head, and I finally made sense of it and put it down in writing. I actually wrote a lot of notes the morning I woke up, and this is before we knew our anthology was about dreams, but it was just something I felt like I should capture and hold on to. It's called Dream in Which I Was Irresistibly Beautiful. Women and children observed it casually in shops on Ocean Avenue as if admiring art. You're really pretty. Robin took me to an office tower. There was someone I had to meet, a poet. I traveled winding corridors, stopped to pick up a nameplate fallen from a cubicle wall. As I worked to reattach its suction cups, 2 hands encircled my hips. You're doing a really good job, the man with the hands said, which was not a clever line, and I hadn't invited him. In waking life, it would be a disaster, but here, it stirred warmth in my skin, an amused smile on my blushing cheeks. Reader, I leaned into his embrace, as absurd as I knew it to be, even amid the absurdity of dream logic. He followed us into the poet's lair, where she sat cross-legged, gelled curls and glasses. We tried to talk, but the dude kept interrupting until I put him to work rubbing my shoulders. The poet didn't last long. The dream was already dissolving. I took a copy of her book, took 2 when I was the only one left in the fading room. I learned no greater wisdom, didn't touch heaven or consort with muse. The poet was not the shiny mirror I'd hoped to find, but I did see my reflection wavering in store windows and glistening corner office views. And I'm surprised by how I looked exactly like myself. And now we've entered our intermission. This would be a good time if anybody needs to go get a snack, get a drink, tend to rising issues, but we'll just open up for some conversation and questions, answers. So everybody, you can go ahead and unmute yourself for this point. It's a little more casual and unstructured, but we'd love to hear from our community.
I'd like to start by saying how incredible this experience has been. I just recently revamped my writing and poetry career, and that first night was with you ladies at Poets of the Pines, and it has been extraordinary to join you all again and listen to so many gorgeous pieces and be welcomed. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Janae, we were delighted when we realized one of your poems we had accepted was from you. We just thought that was so cool that we remember you joining that first night as just like a general public. You said you just came across it at the right time, and it was so touching just to be like, wow, it's first full circle and now you're here. So thank you for being
I don't even think I believe in destiny, but that one felt like destiny.
Yeah.
It did.
Well, I guess we can, does anybody have any comments or questions or about the anthology or poetry in general or publishing? We have a few extra minutes. Bye, Vanita. Thank you for joining.
This
Yeah,
is
Kelly.
Lara. I have a question.
Sure, Laura.
Do you guys have your third anthology?
I was so
plan?
scared of
Like, what's your next theme? You know, like I'm curious because, you know, it just seems like, and I want to get a copy of the first one, but it just seems like you kind of have this little thread, kind of possibly, you know, like do you have a plan for? Is this sort of like? Or do you just randomly choose something out of a hat?
No, there's I would say there's definitely a vision.
It is. We exist in liminal spaces. A lot of in between. Kelly has been running a live series of workshops in upstate New York that she calls Thresholds. And so this is like entering new doors and new worlds and that kind of moment of pause before you go into a new place. And I think that captures a lot of what we are in Poets in the Pines. I mean, even our name, to me, it means lost in the woods. Or I look at the forest as this space in literature where you can experiment a little more and be different people, make some questionable decisions and do some moral wandering.
Moral wandering.
Sure, the Las Vegas of the literary world is the forest.
And
so
what happens here just stays here is what I'm
yeah, that's right. So that's the kind of space and work we explore at Poets in the Pines. Our first one was about kind of that transition between life and death, or the transition into grieving, and what that makes of us. This one is about dreams. It's another permutation of midnight, which is about my bedtime, around the time I start dreaming. But we haven't officially nailed down the topic of our third anthology. And if anybody has a nomination, we can consider that too. But it is going to be, I don't know if we're going to continue with the Maid from Midnight. That title came from a poem that Kelly read to our team in our first online meeting.
Kind of was the seed that bore the anthology.
It really was. I said at the point, like, that's a good title for this anthology, because it looks at sort of formative experiences and what they make us into. So looking at ourselves through all of the tumult.
They're really like a descent into the self, I think.
Yeah.
We haven't, like Anne said, we haven't really officially chosen anything for the next one yet. I know like we've been full force since last year. We've been going like full steam ahead, just really trying to get our name out there, trying to grow our audience and connect with more writers and get our books out there. So we really haven't stopped since like January of last year. I think we've been going like constant. And I know like our own writing projects have kind of suffered as a result. So I think we might take the rest of the year to work on personal projects and probably open up for the third one beginning of next year, if I had to guess. We haven't had any discussion about that or anything, but yeah, I would probably say that the third one would be next year. And I think we might have one more in the Made from Midnight series, maybe just go all the way to full dawn, full morning.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering, like, at what point too, because midnight, then dreams, like, you know.
Right, you're seeing the pattern. Yeah, you're like, wait, I see what's going on.
I was like, is this like a trilogy? Like, I was kind of like, you know, wondering where you're headed.
It has always felt like a trilogy to me.
There's some trilogy energy.
Yeah, there's a trilogy energy going on. And then after that, we may kind of branch out and try something new and you know, go a different way. And
yeah, we've talked among ourselves about publishing individual works as well. And it's something that we like, single author works versus anthologies. So
yeah,
we're open to that also.
It's hard because we're trying to get so many things off the ground at one time, you know, all the socials, kind of starting from the ground up with everything that we're doing. So we're really trying to lay the foundation there and add one thing at a time. And once we get the anthologies under our belt, yeah, we would love to do some personal chapbook publishing.
Yeah, we will also have some workshops and
very soon
learning opportunities coming later this year. So we're not going to just be latent, but we're going to try to develop just workshops related to Poets in the Pines messaging and mission and themes.
Are those live or online? Do you guys know? I mean,
in person, live, online, as well as asynchronous are all things that we're brainstorming. We'd like to have 3 versions of the same workshop whenever possible, so that people can experience it in the format that works best for them.
Like you have a lot of international people here, so
We do,
that's an
yes.
amazing
So
group.
it could be different timelines, price points, and just turn all of the content into something that you can digest at your preferred pace and mode.
Right. And of value too. We're trying to just make sure that everything has a lot of value for the poet and the writer that is using it, and just going to be a good resource, not something we just put out there, you know.
Right. And we're talking to poets at all kinds of different levels in their career. One thing that Kelly and Leah and I have in common is we're all coming to poetry as enthusiasts. None of us is in academics or has an MFA. I know a lot of our contributors do, and we appreciate them so much for that, but we're poetry fans and self-taught poets for the most part.
That's so weird because I am too. And I just want to point out, like, I lived in Pennsylvania for a really long time. So, like, you guys are kind of like a Pennsylvania location.
Leah's in Pennsylvania.
Like, but I'm in Colorado now, but I live in a ponderosa pine forest. So I was like, well, I'm still a poet in the pine. I'm just out west. Like,
I'm in Los Angeles. I'm even further west.
Yeah. I have to move to Oklahoma later this year, and I was thinking about that. I was like, well, we're just going to have to take the pines to Oklahoma. I
Just
guess.
bring some with you.
Yes.
Bring a pine cone or something, Kelly.
Yes. Does anybody else have any questions about anything? We have still a
What
few.
do you think, Kelly, about showing a little preview like we talked
Should
about,
we?
maybe on your
Okay.
phone screen? And we can pause the recording.
Well,
this is rough.
It's still kind of in the process. We're trying to get the font right, but you guys are going to see kind of the behind the scenes here of what all goes into this. There's like so many decisions. I mean, we've talked about this cover now for like weeks and weeks and weeks, going over everything. So don't pay attention to the font, but we just got this back today. So this is going to be our front cover. Let me see.
Oh, how can we see it?
Maybe there's got to be a better way I can do this.
It's like a keyhole.
It's a keyhole, but you can't see any of the coloring.
There is a bird.
There's a bird.
There's
There's
a
your
bird. I
bird.
told you this bird is so important. It weaves through the book. And I think the birds and the rooms are the biggest continuing. But yes, Danuta, your
Like a
bird is
little
really
world
important.
inside this keyhole. Why does it keep blurring? That is so rude.
Do you have your camera on blur?
I don't. Let me
blur the background.
How do I do that?
I don't know, but we work with a really great illustrator named Emily Daniel, who is also a contributor in our anthologies. But she's given us some really great artwork that just brings the spirit of our anthologies to life in a different way, a visual way.
We're really excited about it. She's also doing some illustrations of the sections. So each section will be divided. I don't know if we want to reveal that or not. I guess we can. These are
Well, we have some illustrations in the last one. Some nice line art to bring to life some of the visuals. We haven't even begun to talk about which and what. So that's probably next.
Definitely. Jessica asked, how many poets are in the anthology? There's 66.
Wow, wow. A lot.
So, yeah, well, there was less this time. I mean, it's crazy. We got more submissions this time, but we actually culled a lot less. We ended up pulling a lot less. It was almost like we had a very specific idea of what we were looking for. There was actually a lot of art submissions as well, but we eventually decided that it wasn't a good fit, and so we didn't accept any art. It was mostly poetry this time, and I think every section also has a short story. Is that right, Anne?
Not every single section, and some of them are a little more hybrid. We're almost we have some that are more drama in a way. It's hard to classify some of them. I mean, we have the horoscopes, that's prose. Well, we have prose.
Yeah, that one's cool. There is some, I would say it's like hybrid explorative prose. Lots of different forms in this one.
Or the stage instructions one.
Yeah, that one's super cool.
So yeah, there's some experimental prose. There's some that I don't actually know and don't want to distinguish whether it's autofiction, memoir, fiction, but it is what it is, and it's a great glimpse into a moment.
I'm so excited for you all to read them. They're awesome.
Yeah. It's a really good collection, and I don't know why we stopped where we did. It's just that this is what felt like
felt right. I don't know.
There was a lot of good work, and we had rules for ourselves this time, just to help distinguish between Made from Midnight Requiem and Delirium. There were a lot of poems grieving past deaths. We made the rule that it had to happen in the context of a dream versus it happened. And so that rule hurt sometimes, but we stuck to it just to give this anthology its own voice in a way.
Thanks for coming, Joyce.
Yeah, thank you, Joyce.
See you.
I wanted to ask, do the workshops cost money?
So far, no, that we're only offering them in person and they're by donation.
Oh, I see.
But once we go online, I think we're talking now about a sliding scale. So they would be based on a sliding scale. We're trying to work out how best to help everybody.
Yeah, we really want to make our workshops accessible because
yeah.
there are poets at so many levels. I look at workshops and a lot of them are kind of cost prohibitive. But
very much so.
Yeah, it's hard. I know.
And now the workshops, is it a lot of work to do the workshops?
So we do, it's like an hour and a half. The first 30 minutes or so is like information and discussion. And then we do like generative writing exercises for like 15 or 20 minutes. So we'll do a prompt and then we'll all write and then we'll share with each other and discuss. So I don't think it's a lot of work really. It's more of like just to aid your writing really. And it's not really critique based. So you don't get like critiqued or anything like that. And there's usually an open mic.
Whether it had a whole lot of homework or not.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No, but there is a chance to just read your work to other people and have responses. Or I know I've been in workshops where they respond to the seed of an idea and you can vet where the most interest lies and it can help you know where to dig in and push the poem. So there is a lot of, well, not a critique, just feedback that helps inspire you in the formation.
Thank you for that question. Anybody else have a question before we open up for open mic? Okay, so the way the open mic will work is if you raise your hand in this little emoji here.
Or maybe type your name into the chat if you have anything additional that you want to read. It can be for people who are here if you have a poem that is not in the anthology, but you'd like to share it, maybe something that you're working on. Or if you're not in the anthology, this is a great chance to join in too. We wanted to open it up to the larger community of writers out there. I see a hand up from Sky. This is the first hand up.
Hello. I have to go. Thank you very much.
Hi, Danuta. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Hi, Sky. You can go ahead.
Hi. Do you need me to introduce myself?
Really quick, just like maybe your name and where you're joining us from.
Yes, please.
Hi, my name's Sky. I'm a U.S. poet, but I'm currently living in Lancaster in England. My poem is called Our Secret Veil. The thorns of friendship prick within my soul. Our garden, once with blooming roses red, withered with seasons changed to winter dread. The barren shrubs remain unchanged. No sprite, no spring will bring the flowers. I write on withered petals. miss you, love, and let them blow into the desolate wind. The grass grows on the paths between our rows. Your gloves wrinkle, your watering can sits dry. I weed the thistle still, but should I try? Your shadow disappear beyond the hills. I wait your sight, but why did you decide to turn away and shove our love aside? Our roots within me shrivel to a speck. I sent epistles from our secret veil, sealed, I bet, solitary and unread. What herbs concoct a remedy for friendships dead? Perchance you bring a trowel round for spring. I'd still embrace you, ask just where you've been, and listen with intent to know you once again. Then let our watery tears replenish dirt.
Beautiful.
That was a great
Thank you.
reading. I'm always a sucker for internal rhyme and just playing with sound. I heard a lot of that.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here, Sky. Welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
Meet you.
Millie, do you want to go next?
Yeah, that's good with me. I'm so happy for Sky. We know each other in real life.
Oh, cool.
So I mentioned the open mic to him only a few days ago and he was completely up for it. So I'm so happy to see him.
Love that. Welcome.
So I'm going to read, I think, Bone China from Delirium, not from Delirium, made from Requiem, which was it's one of those which just grew on me over the time, and I performed it a bit in Lancaster, but it's one of my favorites to read. So I'll get started. So, Bone China. Just where shall I put my bones? I wonder as I open the cupboard. Should I stack them up in a tower, slot them in, snuggled together overhead on the highest shelf, which is only occupied by dust? Do I place them down neatly, separating the plates and bowls, nestling themselves into spaces between the mugs to grow old? I stare deep into that hinged box before I pick up my waiting bones, cradling them together in my arms, clinging to them, holding my breath, and walking to the silent blender. I force them in with a rigid clunk, and finally letting out a final breath as the machine whirs back to life, crushing up and then grinding down into a fine powder so soft, so light, to be cast out into the window, into the night.
That one's grown on us in these months.
Always a pleasure, Millie. Thank you for
It
being
is, and thank you for bringing in the last anthology and giving people a little taste of what's inside.
I've been promoting it everywhere in England as far as I can.
Oh, I love that. Oh my God.
If I can't come to your events, I'm doing it here. So,
well, maybe we'll be there one day. Who knows?
One day.
All right, next up, thank you, Millie. All right, next up we have Ozge. Hi, Ozge.
Hello again.
Hello.
I would like to read my second poem from the anthology, which is based on a real dream, actually. It was very vivid, so I wrote it. And okay, here it is. Too much me in me. The world itself is the bad dream. Sylvia Plath, The Bell Jar. In a bad dream, I buried my mother. But first, I tied her chin with a crimson tulle cloth to her head. Then I put 2 silver coins on her eyelids. She seemed even more cruel than she used to be with those new blinding eyes, to see too much me in me, with a locked mouth finally free from humiliation. Next to a poison pink thorn, I dug a vertical hole as the lava oozed out. It waned and writhed in the radiance of red like melted candy. I knew the world was speaking with me while coating over her brutality. This sweet fire is you. Thank you.
Thank you. That's just a chilling poem. And it touches on so many different emotions.
complex. Yeah, we kind of feel like
It is. We
thrive
love the
there.
complexity
Yeah,
of that, the grief, the empowerment, the little bit of sympathy, and the release of it.
Mm.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here, Ozge. I know it's very late for you, so we really appreciate it.
That's fine. Thank you.
Okay,
Our
and now we have
Janae
Janae.
It's
Welcome,
me
Janae.
again. This is a poem I had wanted to submit, but it didn't really fit the theme, but I just wanted to share it because it's kind of close. It's called The Dancer. Wrapped in satin threads, the dancer sleeps, still like a Spanish guitar, one amber curve flowing into the next. I watch her, the glittered hips that swayed in the candlelight, now idle on her gilded canopy bed under golden sheets. The caramel eyes that captured tequila lit gazes rest under her charcoal lined lids. She smells of jasmine and Egyptian toffee, as does the emerald hookah handmade by her Lebanese grandfather. I catch the smoke rising through the grommet, streaming off my lower lip. I walk over to her. I lie next to her. Our strands intertwine, blackened by the dimming light. I wrap my arms around her. I wonder what she's dreaming. She's Romanian. I'm mildly Haitian. I die in my dreams. Thank you.
Thank you. I do remember that when you submitted it to us.
Did I?
You did, and you're right. It wasn't as much on the theme, but we did enjoy that one. I really was
Beautiful.
drawn in by the smells of it.
Thank you.
Yeah, that one stuck in my memory.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're so glad you came.
It feels beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing, Janae. Okay, do we have anybody else who would like to do the open mic?
I could read if.
Yes, please. Go ahead, Jessica.
Okay. I'm going to read from my book, Long Hours, which just came out. And it has so many dream poems in it that I don't know which one to pick. But I'm going to read. Do you guys mind a swear word?
We
I'm
love
okay with
swear
it.
word.
I think
Yeah.
we're all grown-ups here.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, so this is the opening poem. I like to ride on things that shouldn't be ridden. At the rodeo, I volunteered to be thrown off the donkey. The clown led the audience in mocking my fall. How could I blame him? I hid inside the mouth of the big yellow demolition machine and rode it down into the abandoned house. Together, we bit into the neon green "fuck bitches" graffiti in the old living room's sheetrock. It's okay because my hands are too soft to crush anything alive or dead. We tore its bones out, and the insulation came up pink and frothing like lungs. The sun was hot on the top of my head, and the birds didn't know what to do with this new information. They were flying so small and panicked. Dozens of trees lay hacked to death. Vines had tried a kind of embrace. I've ridden the Ferris wheel hanging by my sweaty knees. I had to rely on my body to hold me. My hair hung down and tangled in the wind and the lights of this town. The muddy ground was littered with wrappers and cups. I'm always trying to ride a bicycle at night. I've figured out how to lie down and look at the stars while pedaling. The path so familiar, I navigate by sound and sky. It's the old neighborhood, and nothing can harm me. Thanks.
Awesome. That's such a cool frame, writing things that aren't meant to be written. I just enjoy that approach to it too, but just everything you filled the frame with. Jamie has a hand up, so I will have you read something else. Go ahead, Jamie.
Hi, thanks again, everyone. So I didn't mention this earlier, but I'm joining from Jamaica. I'm originally from here, but I'm in between Massachusetts and here. This poem is called A Consecration of Sinful Bodies. The father is confused at who you call daddy, in a bedroom hollow like a temple, where praise kings are personalized hallelujahs, where you praise kings in return because they make you see a God behind your eyes in a liminal space when your body is not your own, but very much his, until the safe word leaves your lips. The son is pleased because you are in love with him and faithful to a God you cry out to every night. See, men are something kind of holy, in all white, like the skin that your fingernails leave scratched with red. You see men, and a silent command makes you kneel into a prayer or a confession that empties his soul but fills yours. The Holy Ghost comes upon you like two bodies that belong. You do not know sin in the way sin knows you, because you keep coming back, like a fire that is reignited by wind, like that hidden spot that is your walls, where you keep stirring the ashes, causing embers to float, like your soul during climax, forcing your words to escape on the edge of a breathless amen.
Wow. Wow,
Thank you.
wow, wow. Love it.
Yeah, Kelly, I grabbed onto that same line. What was it? The sin.
You do not know
You do
sin
not
in
know
the way that
sin
it
the way
knows
it
you.
knows you.
Wow.
And then the way that that came back at the end. Very nice.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, we just
Thank
had
you.
David enter the room.
Hi, David. Looks like we have several people. Martin Ejir is also now here.
Oh, you okay? Good.
Martin. Hi, Martin. All right, we have Susan's hand up. Susan, would you like to share your work?
It's the last part needs a bit more editing because I only worked on it this morning. But I thought
great place to share.
I don't know, it doesn't really fit with the anthology. It's more towards light, I think.
That's great. We're just on poetry right now.
Yep.
Yeah. The last it was inspired by Amanda's Gorman poem, The Hill We Climb, and it's about my church. We lift our eyes to the barefoot, frozen from the rain. We lift our eyes to muddy jeans, red bags and pockets crumpled with glue. We lift our eyes to children, their eyes puffy from crying. We share chocolate cake and wash our sticky hands. Because when we look in the mirror, despite being pristine with black iron clothes and a real gold cross, we see our reflection. Our soul is disheveled, our clothes stick to us with sweat, and our hair is messy. When we see the truth that we are not different, we stop hiding it. We lift up our church, together we step out of the shade, we link our arms in a circle. Our yellow clothes are burning bright, our clothes are lit up with neon lights, the children are on our shoulders, the next generation that will close the divide. And for every person we hold with all our might, we will not let anyone fall. Then we see light in our reflection and clothes that turn to gold.
Very nice. Thank you for sharing.
Hi, this is Lara. I just I don't see the chat. I think I need to update my software, but I need to log off because I gotta go have dinner with the kids here. But I just want to say thanks, y'all. I wish I could listen to everybody else's, but that was really fun. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks for
Laura, for
coming.
being here. We really appreciate it. All right, we will go ahead and go to Steve, who would like to share. Hi, Steve.
Hello again. This was not a poem that I submitted. It's part of a larger collection, but I thought maybe you would like to hear it. Also, possible content warning for anybody who is squeamish about, it's not exactly animal cruelty, but just there in case you need to hear that. This is called Baba Yaga Taught Me to Spell. When I was a child, I lived on a hill. In the winters, Dad skinned animals to sell their fur. Minks, foxes, muskrats, coyotes, whatever animals wandered across his coil spring traps. When Dad finished pulling their skins off their bodies, he threw their carcasses down the hill to the yard below. In the summers, I played in that boneyard. I tried to spell my name with the bones. Little femurs and tibias, patellas and fibulas formed the T's and E's of Stephen, but I never had enough for the S and P. That's when I stopped singing 10 Little Indians and changed it to 10 Little Frankensteins. That's when I begged Mom for a Halloween book of skeletons who used their bones to shape letters. The bones snapped when I tried to bend them into harder letters, but Baba Yaga whispered her hot-breathed encouragement in my ear until I mastered a word near summer's end. Monster. I made it over and over with the bones, and Baba Yaga laughed with Dad's voice. I worked all those hot afternoons while her house quietly danced on its chicken legs behind me. Thank you.
Ooh.
Loved the imagery in that one.
Yeah, the name with the bones. I've done sticks, but not bones.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's creepy cool.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here and thank you for sharing, Steve.
You are welcome.
All righty. Well, thank you, Jason. Thank you for being here. We hope you enjoyed it. Okay, we still have a little bit of time. Would anybody else like to share?
And we have Martin on the agenda. We'd saved some space and missed you earlier, but there's a chance to jump in now if you'd like to read your poem from the anthology. Or I see that David Lee just entered. If you would like to do a reading.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're if everybody's able to see the chat, so that's okay if not too. No pressure. We don't want to pressure anyone.
Just come check in, meet the team, meet the co-contributors.
I have one I will share. Oh, there he is. Hold on. Let's see if I can get back to his slide. Oh, there he goes. Martin, are you here? Would you like to share? Oh, maybe not. Well, hopefully we didn't scare him off. Okay, let me go back here. I have one that, excuse me. This has nothing really to do with the anthology, but I was trying out a lot of different forms for the Thresholds workshop tomorrow. And I tried my hand at a haiku that I would like to share if you guys want to hear it. Has no title, but it goes, step by step, I climb toward the highest version of myself, another. So that's the haiku that I made. And then I also wanted to share this blackout poem that I did today from a text from The Great Gatsby. I know you can't read it, but I thought it sounded really cool. So I'm still going to read it out loud. This one has no title either, but I was just working on this today. Practical rooms and wide lawns, friendly trees, Suggested a house, weather-beaten, a cardboard bungalow, a minute alone, a dog, a woman, breakfast, wisdom over electric stove. I was lonely. A man stopped on the road. How helplessly I walked. No guide, pathfinder, original settler. On me the sunshine, great bursts of trees. Life was beginning over again. All such things become again. A single window, all a matter of chance. A house itself, domesticated body of salt water. I guess it is kind of goes with the themes of Delirium with the house and the windows.
For sure. And the salt ocean. You found that inside another poem?
It's a text taken from The Great Gatsby.
That's right. Oh, wow.
I don't know if you can see it. Super cool, right?
I like those found forms. My library here in LA, they're celebrating their centennial this year.
Oh,
and
cool.
they took apart some of the old card catalogs and created these packets. In the library, you can go in and ask for a packet and do blackout poetry with them. And I did that last week. And the cards that I was given, there were about 10 of them. They were all on the American Revolution. And it was really sparse. Like, you know, a card catalog has the title of a book and some of the things that it's about. This is a fun challenge. It ended up being about revolution.
I was really surprised at how at first I was like, I don't know if I can do this. This is, I don't know, kind of, you know, I've only tried one other blackout poem before with actually in Made for Midnight, a Requiem, Moody's poem. So I wanted to try it before I made everybody else try it for the workshop. And I was like, wow, this is actually really cool. And it's neat how it's like a deconstruction and a reconstruction of a text. And I think the subtext of The Great Gatsby is obviously, you know, like the hollow American dream and repressed desire and moral corruption. And so I was trying to like go that route, I guess, with this poem, but it ended up being really cool. So
yeah, what do you all think about that process? Just sitting at the beginning of a poem. I experienced this too when I was going over the revolution cards. Like, how are these words ever going to poem together?
I feel like it kind of does it itself, you know, like I just started by like circling interesting words, and then I went through it a second and third time, and I was like, okay, which words kind of marry with each other really well? And then you kind of find words that will, I guess, connect them all. I don't know. Does anybody else have an experience with blackout poetry? It's very new to me. Ozge?
Yep.
Oh, I think you're muted.
Sorry.
There we go.
When I first started writing poetry, it was 2020. I tried some erasure poetry from Virginia Woolf's Dalloway or some other text. Yeah, and it's quite fun actually. I really loved it, but none of my erasure poems made it nowhere. So I somehow
is there a big market, I guess, for those? I mean, where would you submit those? I guess it'd be a very specific submission call, I'm assuming.
Yes, there must be. And also some magazines, some poetry magazines are more keen on publishing concrete poetry. So if they like concrete poetry, they can also publish erasure poetry. And yeah, one must really read the guidelines carefully. So it's not to submit to the wrong place because you just wait in vain. But if they like that experimental inverted commas,
that makes sense.
So you can submit that brilliant poem of yours. I liked very much, by the way. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I have one that I made and got it into Painted Pebble magazine.
Wow, that's beautiful. I can't read the words, but just visually from a distance.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
collage.
It's from a few different sources, but Yeah, so Painted Pebble Lit Mag, I think is the whole name. So look that up. And if you want to submit, I think she definitely is looking for stuff like that.
Awesome.
I do a lot of work just playing with the poetry magnets.
Yes.
Which is a big pile of words. And it's sort of the same process because you're again like working with a limited set of words. But like you, I start just pulling out some interesting words, and usually maybe even two or three or a phrase will fit together, and that'll inspire like, oh, okay, now I have an idea to work with. And then it's just a matter of connective tissue, or figuring out where it's going from there.
I love your magnet poems. I really feel like kind of like with the blackout poetry too, it's like you have to let go of all of your ideas about like grammar and sentence structure, and it's like, how creative can you get this idea across to another person in maybe words that you wouldn't have thought would get it across.
Yeah, or I just love how it forces words into
Right.
proximity too that you might not normally connect. So sometimes I'll even just use that, like just dip into a pile and see what atoms I can smash together and see if it can inspire anything then on the page.
Mm-hmm. I like how you related it to science, because in my head I'm like, it's the kind of like a magic that happens, but there's also kind of a science to it. So I guess there's like
Well,
both.
it's that creative leap. Like that's always just a moment that fascinates me. Maybe this is some anthology material here, just the creative leap in general. And it is a threshold moment. A lot of times you're standing at the precipice of creation and just wondering what'll spring forth. And yeah, you do. You have to kind of let your guard down, close your eyes and leap.
Yeah. And did you have a poem that you wanted to share?
I might pull in my short one, my other short one from the anthology, with a caveat that this is a scrap fragment that I found in an old notebook from probably about 2012. And it just fit with that dream theme. So I took it out and polished it up a little bit. And it feels like publishing someone else at this point. But this one is called Beneath the Waves. You lie in my nooks and crannies, wrecked ship upon a reef. Your tired splinters entangled with my living polyps. My fingers are a school of damselfish playing in your drowned hull as it rises and falls on the current of your breath. I like leaving fragments for myself in old notebooks. It's like discovering a $20 bill in your pocket next season.
Finding that last
Maybe
fry
leaving
in the
yourself
bag.
a little present to your
Yes.
future self who is more inspired.
Beautiful. And that one is sectioned with a lot of other waves and tides.
Yeah, lots of ocean in that chapter, which just kind of a look at the tidal poles inside us. It's sort of the most primordial, to borrow a phrase from one of our other ones. Just the force is light and dark and choppy waters and very still waters. Sarah's Liminal Bay was grouped with those. So a little peaceful alcove in the ocean, stormy sea.
Love it.
Yeah. Well, have we exhausted ourselves here?
I think that might be everybody. Yeah, everybody's signing off, getting ready for bed. So thank you so much
for being here. It's really just a pleasure to put names and faces and bios together. I feel like I know a lot of you through your work, and it's great to know you more as full people. I think if we have information, I followed you all on Instagram, which is where I'm the most active in poetry and writing. So I just look forward to following you and seeing all of your work unfold. I hope you'll keep in touch and interact with us in these next few anthologies, seasons, years. And thank you for everyone who's coming back and just really sinking into our community and being a part of it. We appreciate you all a lot.
We really do. It means a lot to us, pushes us every day just to keep coming back and work harder. So
Oh, it doesn't do justice to all of the work that you give us.
Yeah.
It's premium stuff. We want to be a good home for it. And just thank you.
It's an honor.
for
We
what
don't
you
take it
give
lightly.
us. Nah, this is huge honor.
And we will be recording this, so we'll make sure to send everybody, once we upload it, everybody's information and a copy, or I guess a link to watch it back or to share. We'll also be making like clips of everyone reading that you can share on your page. So look out for that. And then with that, I guess we'll say good night.
Yeah, good night, good morning, good wherever
good morning.
we're chronologically agnostic here.
Yes.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Chronically agnostic. It's hilarious.
I came up with that in reference to age, really.
Yeah.
But it works for time zones too.
All right. I will stop the recording now.